Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Call and Jose, the faces and brains behind Talking Ball. How's it going, buddy? You doing all right? It's very late for you. I understand. I think everybody's come over here from Jacob's show. Thank you. We try to bring similarly immaculate vibes. Slightly different, more Midwestern vibes from me than his Southern vibes. And then Jose's just got vibes from everywhere. He's an international man. International vibes from Jose. Uh, Spain, England. I mean, he's got all of the vibes. But yeah, good to have everybody here. Super good to have you here. Um, Jose, we were talking earlier about Paratici and his cooking. I guess I'm just jumping right into the meat of things. We were talking about Paratici and his cooking. Um, yeah, I mean, he's when you really step back and look at it, he's done an incredible job with putting a team together. Uh, I'll put some of the comments up, but yeah, I mean, do you agree? You're right. Do you have anything to add? I guess to that.
I think when we did the show earlier, I touched up on it before the show from earlier when Scott Munn was brought in and we knew we were looking for a director of football. My thoughts personally was I always wanted to have Paratici because for whatever he's done, his misdemeanors, he is quality. And I'm just hoping now that we've brought Johan Lange in that the three of them can work together. My gut feeling is that Scott Munn has brought in Johan Lange, and my gut feeling says that that Levy still wants Paratici around, and he's asked for the three of them to work together. I'm stoked because I think Paratici is absolutely mustard in what he's done, not only bringing players in, but what he's done with the club, setting up the pathway for the under 18s, the under 21s, which he started last year by bringing in Simon Davis as the academy director. And so there's a lot of embedding that Paratici's done in his time at Tottenham, and it's only boding well for us, and it's a positive for us going forward in the future.
Man, absolutely. You killed it. He really has created something. And you hit the nail on the head, though, with like, I had Tottenham reappointed. Long, I believe is how we decided earlier his name was pronounced. But I'm really hoping that everyone works together. I'm hoping that it's not to like minimize the role that Paratici plays. I know that that typically Postecoglou scouts different markets. I think he's not a guy that sticks to Italy for sure. But I think that could be a great thing. I think having the mixture of these guys that all like to dip into specific markets, I think if they all work together, like you said, we could get some great cooking that would really, really, we could whip into something really nice. But that is the fear. Do you think there's any credence to that? Like that they brought in Lange, we'll call him Longa, to kind of minimize Paratici's role? Do you? I
No,
feel
no,
that
no, 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 no. What they did, right? So when Paratici was found guilty or whatever, Tottenham had to have a rethink of what they were going to do. Were they going to bring in a like for like replacement as a DOF? Because Paratici, for all intents and purposes, was the director of football. So what they did is they changed the job titles, and whilst Paratici was still at the club, cooking in the background, they announced Scott Munn on the 1st of April. And when they announced Scott Munn, it was made clear that Scott Munn's role would be a step above Paratici's, and that they were going to bring a director of football to work alongside Scott Munn. So the director of football, they've created a new position basically. The Lange is basically a Fabio Paratici, and Scott Munn is a new created position that's higher up.
Cool. See, I'm learning things. I'm learning things as we go, which is great. Normally, I feel like the show presenters would have it all together, but no. I mean, you're teaching me things on the fly, and I appreciate that big time.
You're asking me questions on the fly as well.
We're doing great. We're doing great. We're killing it. We didn't plan this, you guys. We really didn't plan this, but we're doing our best. And like I said, we try to create good vibes. We've got a lot of people in the chat. Real quick, let's just say hey to them. And we got Dry Roast Peanut. Hey, I've never seen you in the chat before, but welcome. Glad to have you here. Why don't you hit a like, hit a subscribe, stick around a while. See, we'll put ranch dressing on it and say ope and do all that other Midwestern stuff. You know all the tropes around here. So please hang out a while, bud. Take your shoes off. John Fitzpatrick, legend and ever present in the chat, says big up Colin and Jose. Big up yourself, bud. Then we got Cody Fredrickson, friend of mine since like kindergarten. Says, can we speak on the Romero and Mickey Van der Ven pairing? I'm loving it. Yes, we can. Absolutely. And we'll just get through these chats and let's absolutely hit on that because those are two more players that have Paratici'S smell all over them. Zapur, though, says, what up back, Zapur? Very good to have you. Adrian Sroka says, good evening, all. Adrian, you're up late, just like Jose. Jose needs to get some sleep in a while. Adrian, how late are you going to be up, sir? Let us know in the chat. So real quick, Gyros Peanut says, is Lange's position just to do Paratici'S bidding?
No, because Lange, if you look at Lange when he was at Villa, he's his own man, Lange. He's got his own market. He's got his own market. He's got his own ideas. Obviously, the idea of bringing a Doff in, the Doff's got to align with whatever our philosophy is going forward. That philosophy needs to be set by the club, needs to be set by Scott Munn, and then Lange fits into whatever the philosophy is. So yeah, to me, they'll work hand in hand. The thing about Paratici, people need to understand, is that Paratici has been at Tottenham for nearly for 2 years or so, and with that being said, Paratici has got a list of players. He knows what the mould is, what Tottenham are looking for, and Paratici would already have a list of players. Before Scott Munn came along and before Lange came along, Paratici would have been working with Ange Postecoglou in what type of players he wants to bring in. So there would be a list. They've started working on it already. I would have thought they've started working it already. And what they're doing is they've already. I've said they've already spoken to a representative of players to see whether players are interested in that. So I think a lot of the groundwork's been done by Paratici already, and that's why he's been kept on. I think they're there to work together. It's not a like for like replacement. They're just there to work together. And as I said, I for one am so happy that Paratici is still at Tottenham cooking the books.
Cooking the books. Love it. But real quick, I'm just gonna rip through this list that you and I came up with, and there are more, but Udagi, Vicario, Romero, Van de Ven, Poro, Phillips, Bentancur, Kulu, Richarlison, Madison, Hill, Sarr, Brennan Johnson, Solomon, and Valith. We also have to add Jed Spence to that list, which would probably be on the other spectrum, other end of the spectrum, but still, I mean,
sorry, Colin, seeing that you've got the list that you've just read out, how many names was that?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 names.
16 names, and our squad is 25, yeah?
Yeah.
A couple of youngsters there as well, but yeah, it's more or less. So looking at 27 players, and out of 27, 28 players, 16 of them have been brought in by Paratici.
The numbers don't lie. They definitely speak for themselves. And like I said, I think it would be detrimental for us to just close off a market like that. Close off our entry and our connect to this Italian market. Like I said, I know that in the past, Big Ange historically, thinks there's a lot of value in the Asian leagues, in Australia. He's shown that he can find some talent in the Asian leagues, but to close off an avenue of potential recruitment, I think would be silly. Would be really silly. So yeah, I think you're 100% right about them being brought in to work together. Real quick before you go to bed, buddy, I wanna get your first of all. I want to answer Cody's question really quick. Uh, the Romero and Van de Ven pairing, we're loving it too over here. Everybody's loving it, Cody. It's wonderful and reminiscent of Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld. Not in exactly the way they play, but just how they complement each other so well, and and it's just a great pairing. I mean, Jose. Uh,
But the thing is that they're both really good footballers. They're good ball playing centre backs. They've only just started out playing together. They'll only get better. But they play football. They're not Hoofam and Bootham players. They do like to play the ball and play the ball out the back. So to me, yeah, the pairing is, it's in its infancy, but they are both very good footballers. So yeah, Cody, yeah, it's
yeah,
positive all the way. It's all gravy, as I say over here all the time. It's all gravy,
it's all gravy. Is
all
it wait?
gravy.
So brown gravy or white gravy? What type of gravy do you guys have over there? Brown gravy or white
Brown,
gravy?
brown.
Are you familiar with white gravy at least?
No, never heard of it in my life.
What? Okay, we'll have to talk more
What's
about this in a
okay?
second.
What's in white gravy then?
Flour and like gunk. Like I don't know what's in gravy. I don't eat gravy because I'm not. Hold on, let me Google it though. But white gravy. When you get mashed potatoes or something here, everyone's like, "Do you want white gravy or brown gravy?" So I'm gonna Google it. White gravy ingredients.
I like the best gravy I like is
Uns-
after you've cooked the meat, you have gravy from the meat you've cooked. So you use the
Ooh.
sauce that's left over from the meat you've cooked, and you make your gravy that way. So it's always going to be brown gravy unless you're having even even when you have chicken, you have brown gravy. So
Yeah, so it says here white gravy ingredients: 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, 1/4 cup all-purpose flour, 2 cups whole milk, salt and pepper and stuff.
I'm with Daniel Lee. Daniel Lee says,
What the fuck? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, now I know. Not to mention white gravy to Brits, they don't enjoy it. I don't either, for what it's worth. But yeah.
is cake
What
getting hot? Is cake getting hot under the collar?
what you say here? My hubby gives. Whoa, okay. There might be children watching this. We don't know. They could have found their way over here. No, just kidding. Big love to Kate. I'm actually working on a project for Kate right now. Well, not clearly not right now, but um, you know, my mom says don't diss white gravy, and she's talking about the food kind and not the kind that Kate was talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm not dissing
Um,
it at all. I've never heard of it, to be quite honest. We don't have one. If we've got white gravy in this country, I've never seen it.
Well, let's bring it there. See, I'm gonna bring a white gravy trend to when I come to visit London in May. I'll bring it with me and see if I can get it to stick. But hey, do you if so? Let me take this banner off here for a second. First of all, I'll throw this one up there. This one's basically just telling everybody have a good day. You got this. Today is your day, everybody. We've got so many great comments, and I'm gonna get to them all. But I know Jose is limited on time. The man has to sleep. Everyone.
No, you carry on.
And
I'm all right for the time being. Come on, I'm fine.
Okay, well, let me read through just a couple of these comments before we got something coming up, a game show. If you guys haven't ever seen it before, if you're new to the channel, we have a little game show called Keep or West Ham, where I'll introduce 2 Spurs players, past or present, to you. You then have to keep one and then send one to West Ham, and it's pretty tough because West Ham and Hell are like almost the same place, and you don't want to send any of our players to hell West Ham. So anyway, it becomes tough. It's very fun. So hang out for that. We've got that coming up. I just want to get through some comments. Um, Adrian Sorka says he'll be up a while. Expect a text very shortly, my friend. And then he said that Mile Yedinak
Mila.
recommended. Words are hard. So yeah, I don't know anything about Yedinak. Wasn't he a former player? Is that the guy I'm
Yeah,
thinking
he's a
of?
former player. He was at Aston Villa as a coach, and
Okay.
Postecoglou brought him in as a coach at Tottenham.
Oh, interesting.
He was
That's
a
very
he was the
interesting.
captain for Australia, and he played most of his career here in England.
Oh,
He
okay.
played most of his career here in England at Crystal Palace. He was their
Hmm.
captain.
I remember the name. He was a big deal. He was their guy. Yeah.
Big
So
bearded guy in midfield, Miljenak.
I can admire a good beard for sure. So but yeah, I do remember that. I remember him. I think I remember not liking him. He was pretty physical, if I'm not mistaken. But so,
Allegedly.
right, some would say. So Cody said, has son seen anyone seen son's Instagram posting today? That Calvin Klein collab goes crazy. No, I haven't seen today's, but I've seen some of them. Sonny's wife saying I couldn't sleep all night after watching it. Woo! It's getting a little steamy in here with this the white gravy quote. I mean, it's crazy. Mom though says white gravy is also called cream gravy. That just adds to the possible innuendos here. Oh man, but it's okay. Cream gravy. Daniel E's never heard of it. Kate says I'm a legend. No way. I don't like white sauce at all on chicken or anything like that. Yeah, I just think gravy is bad, but maybe you guys can sell me on brown gravy when I'm there. But white gravy is a definite no from me. Cody though is saying hey. Everyone's saying hey. It's good stuff. Oh God, there's a James Madison tune that I wrote to the tune of a song called Bad Medicine. If you're watching and you're from the United States, or if you're not, you've probably heard Bad Medicine by Bon Jovi. If you guys, bearing my soul out to you, I recorded this real fast before a show one day. So not a lot of time or production value here, but get ready. I'll show you my James Madison tune.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.
Yes, 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 yes. There it is, everybody. And the words could be changed a bit, but James Madison, Bad Medicine. I mean, it writes itself. It writes itself. Thank you so much for the you were far too kind, sir. I hope everybody enjoyed that little taste of what we could all be doing at the grounds. Imagine the the single tiered stand and everybody's just singing that out. Be a beautiful thing. Be a beautiful thing. John Fitzpatrick says white sauce over bacon and cabbage. Now you're talking. Only Patty will understand. Well, look, O'Connor. I come from the O'Connors. Like, see, Fitzy. That's probably why my family loves it so much. Somebody said she's gonna buy Calvin Klein panties right now. Sweet, do it. They're making money off of everybody. That's great. That's wonderful. And go ahead, grab you some. Um, he's doing his thing. He is getting panties sold. Sonny's wife here is just belting it out. So real quick, I have some questions too in the chat. Matters had a charity golf outing today, I believe, and then the golf outing was yesterday actually. And then Kate said, when am I visiting the UK? May, so it's not for a while. And where am I staying? Well, that's Julie in the chat could answer that much better. She planned the entire thing. But yeah, Jose, you've gone totally quiet, my friend. Did my James Madison song scare you?
No, I think it's brilliant. You know me. I think it's great.
No, I'm just playing with you, buddy. I know you're sleepy. But
no, I'm not sleepy. I think it's great. So yeah,
you're a good man. You're far too kind. I definitely don't think it's great. I do think though that while we're on like the corny stuff train, we might as well just jump straight into keeper West Ham if you're ready.
Are you doing these? Not the ones I've sent you earlier on today.
Well, no. So I didn't get a chance to get those whipped up, but we could do those audio only. I think that would.
No. They deserve they all deserve a picture. Yeah. And the thing is, for those people that know Keeping West Ham, if you thought the ones that are coming up are hard, wait till you see the ones I've cooked. I've been doing Paratici'S this evening.
I've got Jose on it now, and you better watch out. Keeper West Ham's about to get a lot more difficult, folks. It's about to get a lot more difficult. Let's put it that way. He's not sleepy. He's not dopey. You're neither of those. You're Jose. You're the best. You're the best dang host on the planet. Again, Colin and Jose.
Top Spurs has made a good comment. Look underneath. Look. I think that should be done. You should put it out as a short.
All right, we'll do. I'll probably try to sound a little better than that, but we'll see. I might just throw it. But hey, yeah, you're cooking. Cody says, yeah, Jose is always cooking. He's the man. And if he's not cooking up keeper West Ham matchups, he's cooking up food in the kitchen. He's a chef. He's gourmand. You know, he's just. You better watch out. Jose is kind of like what is the guy who? What's that type of beer? I don't always drink, but when I do, it's a Dos Equis. Yeah, you're the Dos Equis guy. You guys have him over there, right?
Dos Equis.
Yeah, Dos Equis guy on the commercial.
Yeah, Dos Equis. Dos Equis. I know what Dos Equis is.
The most interesting man in the world, or whatever.
Mexican beer, Dos Equis.
It's good stuff. All right, but everybody, you've waited long enough. I feel like everyone's been very patient, and I appreciate you guys. It is time for the internet's favorite Tottenham game show. We call it Keeper West Ham. Hey, it's Call from the video. 2 years later, with a lot less hair, but the show remains. That intro will never be beaten by anything I ever put together. It's the best there is. But yeah, are you guys ready for what like I said, the internet, they've told me, the whole internet's told me this is their favorite Tottenham game show. Are you in? Are you in, Jose?
Yeah, so the rules are you need to keep one player at Tottenham and the other player you need to send to West Ham. You can't keep both. You can't send both. You must keep one and send one.
Dry Roast Peanut said, what just happened? Yeah, exactly. A video just came and made love with your mind, my friend. But yeah, Jose has said it. He's told you the rules, but if you didn't hear, 2 players presented, 1 stays, 1 goes to West Ham. And I feel like I said, I got a lot of these, so I think I'm going to throw in some classic ones too, along with some ones from today. I want to start out, and I want to get everybody going with one that's with current people, just to get the blood flow and the juices flowing. Brian Hill versus Gio Lo Celso. Gio Lo Celso versus Brian Hill. 1 stays, 1 to West Ham. They get a lot more fun than this. I'm just starting everybody out a little easy here. Some players that, I mean, there's merit for both. If you think about it, it makes, neither has really proved themselves in England, but they're both fairly successful players in Spain. They're both wanted by teams in Spain that don't have the money to purchase them. And they both look like they could be good for us. They've had their moments where they've looked great. Obviously, one is much more accomplished as far as getting into the team, but still, it's tough to me. I think this is a good matchup. And yeah, it looks like there's already comments rolling in. Keep Hill. says Kate, and she's not even no. It seemed like there was not even any thinking. Get Gio out the door, she says. Mom says keep Hill for our system now. Yeah, he does look like he really could offer something. Jose, I don't know. Are you surprised?
There's more comments. Carry on with more comments.
Oh, both have lots of potential. Keep us also Rabona God. Is he? He might be. Well, that I do love a good Rabona. Ask my man Lamella. He'll tell you. Keep Hill as he has a good attitude. Top Spurs saying keep Hill more useful right now. Kate can't send you because he's disinterested. All right, Kate. Kate is a psychologist now and knows the players' mindsets. No, Kate, I'm just messing. Daniel E, my man, good to see you for the second time today. I want Lo Celso out of this club, so it's Hill then. And I confused Cody. Cody got confused, and you were thinking that was Lamella. It's okay. I wondered.
They're both Argentinian.
You're totally fine, bud. So yeah, I mean, I would keep Hill mainly because we haven't seen his ceiling. Where I feel like we have seen Lo Celso's ceiling. I don't know how high it can go. We seem to be doing fine without Lo Celso, so he can go, and then Hill might offer something new, something better, something exciting. Jose, what do you have to say about these two jokers?
I'd like them to do a job for us. I'd like them to actually play and do a job for us and muck in, as I say, help out, be a teammate, and be ready when called upon. But you can only do that if you're fit. If you're not fit, then you're no good to us. So, but in order to keep one of the players, I'd probably keep Hill.
I mean, it seems like it makes the most sense. Just purely out of a age thing, out of what he offers to this system. But yeah, I could see if you could convince me. The other way. It's tough. It's tough, but
it's tough because there's two players we haven't seen much of. We want to see them. Obviously, we're carrying a couple of injuries at the moment, and the long-term injuries at that, with Perisic, Mana Solomon, Brennan Johnson not being 100 at the moment either. We need players to be able to step in and muck in, and that's why, it's a hard one because you want to see them both play. You want to see them both muck in, but overall, the person that has got the highest ceiling is probably Hill. I don't know. Lo Celso's what, 28, 29, 30. Hill's 22, so he's going to have the ceiling. And like I said the other day about Hill is in the mold of other small types of players that have played for Man City and Barcelona. He's in that ilk. He plays that kind of football. People would say he's luxury. He's a touch player, and touch players can mug off other players. So,
yeah, exactly. You were talking, Spain. They seem to do it. They seem to produce this type of player that can do well in the league. Like you said, we've seen small slight guys do it many a time. Why can't it be our small slight guy? But Dry Roast Peanut says this one's too difficult. I'd move them both on, but Lo Celso is probably more needed right now as a Madison backup, which is an interesting take and one that we hadn't really given much attention to before. So I like it. Zapora says Gil or who? Yeah, Gio. Exactly. Yep. And let me throw that back up for you just so you can see their beautiful faces. But yeah, there's those two guys. But yeah. More comments in here. Would like to see Hill's passing range. Very true. I mean, we talk about maybe potentially having him at the 10, but I haven't ever seen him play an amazing pass. We haven't seen tons of him, but I haven't seen him play an amazing pass. But yeah, hopefully he could do it. We got so many comments coming in. Ange likes wingers, and Bentancur will be back to strengthen our midfield. So Lo Celso can go to West Ham. Get rid of both. Or if we are ambitious, that's not, you got to pick one that fits. Daniel E says, when a player who only saves their best performance for their country, which Lo Celso obviously does, I want that sort of player gone from my club. We've talked about that. He does. In times past when we've played this game, he does seem like he cares more about international football than he does about Spurs. But I mean, I don't think he's the only player like that, but maybe he's the only one on the squad. Romero seemed that way for a bit, but not so much anymore. And then Gio needs to get on the Ange train or go home. A happy squad, but he seems pouty. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. And then Football Manager 23 seems to think Gio is elite. I don't play Football Manager. I don't know much about it, but I disagree with him. I do not think he is elite. But that's okay. Disagreements. I love them. That's what makes the game great. And here's something else that's gonna make the game great. It is. This is an older one for the folks that have been around a while and been following Spurs. We've got Teddy Sheringham versus Gary Lineker. And I've learned a lot about these guys today. We used them in our earlier iteration of the show. So I've learned a lot about these fellows. I've learned that, Gary Lineker was more of a fox in the box poacher type of player, whereas Sheringham could score from outside. Correct me if I'm talking shit, Jose. But Teddy Sheringham could do more. He had more ability. Could his goals varied, and they weren't all from inside the box, I guess is what I'm trying to say. How else were they different players? Who was better at what? Give us a small little lesson here.
Sheringham was a link-up player. Sheringham was either a striker or a 10. He was a link-up player. He could play, his brain, it was so quick. His speed of thought was in his head. He wasn't the quickest player on the deck, but his speed of thought was in his head. He gained 3 to 5 yards just in his head alone, in movements and things that he did. And as I said, he's a playmaker, and then being a playmaker meant that he scored goals, all types of goals. He scored left foot, right foot, inside the box, outside the box. He scored free kicks. He scored wonder goals. But with Lineker was a master in his own right. Lineker was a poacher. He's a box striker. Most of Lineker's goals would have been scored in the box, and not outside the box. I don't even think I recall Lineker scoring for England, Tottenham, or wherever he's been. I don't recall ever remembering a goal from outside the box. They were both great players. I mean, until Rooney and Kane came along, Lineker held the record for goal scorer for England for years and years and years. So,
yeah. Hey, like you said earlier, I think they all count. They don't. A goal is a goal. At the end of the day, they all count just the same, whether it's a wonder goal or it's a poacher's goal. So
it's interesting because Tot Spurs made a comment. I know you're going to read the comments now, but Tot Spurs wasn't in the afternoon show, and Tot Spurs actually repeated a comment that I heard this afternoon show as well. There.
For goals with feet, I would keep Lineker. For creativity and heading, I would keep Teddy. For our system, I keep Lineker.
Yeah, someone said that earlier on today. For the system that Ange plays, they would have kept Lineker.
Hey, that's awesome.
For the system that Ange plays, you could have kept them both because you could have played Sheringham as a number 10.
I would be so interested to see how these guys perform with the players of today on pitches that are how nice they are today. Everyone says that the game's different. All these players from yesteryear wouldn't hold up in today's game, but I don't think they're taking into account all the advantages in today's game too. All the sports science, all the I don't know. It would be awesome. I would love to see some kind of alternate timeline where these guys, were at their peak and for playing for Spurs right now. So, but yeah, Mom says Teddy's still Spurs through and through. Dry Roast Peanut says Teddy was better with the ladies. All right, okay. Todd Spurs, we've already read your comment, but I'll pull it back up. And then Dan E's got obviously would say Teddy, but I can't take it away from Lineker, a fantastic goal scorer for club and country, though. Still Teddy for me. Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus. Cody Fredrickson said loves a fox in the box. RIP Kuroma. If you're into anime at all, Naruto, you'll understand that reference. Nice way to sneak that in there, Cody. Lineker for me, and I'm guessing everyone that's saying Lineker, I'm guessing you mean to keep. But yeah, does it make a difference that Teddy actually played for West Ham too? And we're gonna forgive him.
He went to West Ham when he was a very, very, very old player. He went to West Ham right at the end of his career.
Yeah, he needed a job. People need jobs.
Yeah,
it's okay. We all need. I need a job. This isn't my job. I have a job.
I can't remember the nightclub at the moment. The nightclub escapes me. Faces. That's it. Faces. He was a regular at Faces in Essex. Yeah, he was a regular there when he was a pro at Tottenham. Yeah, he could be found in Faces in Essex.
It's so cool how back in the day, and even now to an extent, like these players, they don't have tons of security. It's not like celebs here in America where they have like a huge entourage. Like you could just see these guys. I mean, you go to the right places. They're just there. I think that's kind of awesome. The accessibility, I know it's changed a lot in recent years, and they're not nearly as available to the fans as they once were. But still more, I think, than American celebs. So that's pretty awesome. Daniel E, his mom had a soft spot for Teddy Sheringham, and then we got my mom saying that maybe AI can create a simulation and we can put them against current players. That sounds like a lot of fun. Hopefully they get that done someday. That would be really cool. You could like pick out your 11 from each team and like play a match out and watch it. I would do it. That sounds like a lot of fun. But guys, we've got one more keeper West Ham for the day. Which one should I do? Actually, no, I have an idea. I have an idea for one. I want to get people again. This is not one from earlier today, but this has been on the show before. But guys, it's Bissouma versus Dembele. It is the old versus the new. It is the replacements versus the original. So yeah, it's this one's really tough for me because Moussa Dembele is probably my favorite Spurs player of all time. I don't know, Adrian. Jose is, and I called you Jose. Gosh, I'm really having an issue right now. But Jose, is this tough for you, my friend?
Nah. At the moment, well, to me they're two different players. Oh, the phone.
Oh my God! Hold on one second. Hello. Oh, Adrian. Yes, buddy. Yes, I'll get you. Yeah, I'll get you on.
Adrian.
Be good today. Be good. We've got somebody here, folks, that we're going to have on the show. He's promised to be on his best behavior. He's going to limit it to 3 C words. Let me get this banner off so you can see this beautiful guy. It is Adrian Troca.
Behaved myself. I was behaving myself.
There he is. What is up, my man? How are you today, sir?
I'm fine, just chilling.
You're up late, just like
I
Jose.
was doing a few things. I've got a little hobby on the side, so I was doing a few things. But
I like to think that your hobby. I don't tell me. I don't want to know what it is. I want to imagine it. I want to just guess.
It's writing. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I hope it's about Spurs or it's Spurs centric. But hey, so we've had 2 before you got on the show. You got them in the chat. But we're on number 3 here, and it's Bissouma versus Dembele. You guys, you said that Jose, you were in the middle of saying that this one wasn't hard for you.
No, it's not, because Basuma's only 8. For me, Basuma's only 8 games into his Tottenham career. Because last season he wasn't played. Saw what he did at Brighton. He's a better player for us in 8 games than what he was at Brighton. The Brighton supporters say that themselves, the ones that I know that I play with football with. But Musa, for 6 years at Tottenham, he reigned supreme, didn't he?
Oh my God, he was untouchable. He was untouchable, and everyone in the comments is agreeing as well.
And it's interesting that when he was, people all talk about him and that, and he reminds me of, but for the same reason, but they were totally different footballers, is players like Iniesta and Xavi. They were appreciated a lot more when they left Barcelona than probably what they were when they were at Barcelona. And I think Dembele's exactly the same. I think since he's left the club, he's been appreciated a lot more than when he was at the club.
Yeah. I mean, I agree completely. You don't know what you got until it's gone sometimes. We saw Eriksen drop off a cliff. His form just drop off a cliff ever since, right as soon as Dembele left, which I don't think is a coincidence. But Adrian, I would love your input on this too, bud. For one, is this a hard choice for you?
Dembele for me. You couldn't get the ball off him. The only thing he needed to add to his game was a few more goals, really, in the midfield. No wonder he had a lot of ankle problems, because people kept kicking him because they couldn't get the ball off him. And he would carry the ball and drive forward with it, wouldn't he? I mean, a better player than him, technically, Gaza would drive forward with the ball. But there are other midfielders have all been different. I mean, like, this is a modern day player, isn't it? A midfielder that can carry the ball forward,
We're lucky to have found Bissouma finally, and a player that can do similarly. He's clearly not to the level. I think we're all going to vote Dembele. It's like it's unanimous in the chat so far. I think that but we're really lucky to have Bissouma now, finally, a player that can kind of at least partly do the job that Dembele did so well for us for so many years.
But the thing is, in a couple of games this season, watching Bissouma, he's been reminiscent of Dembele, the way he's carried the ball and the way he's got out of a tight situation where he's had 2 players around him. Hasn't had to use his body. It's just the trickery on the turn on the ball and that, and getting ghosting past a couple of players.
Yeah.
So there's been some similarities there, but far few, because obviously he's only played 8 games.
Todd Spurs says kind of the same thing though. Dembele for me stays, but Bissouma can take that if he shows it over a few years. So Dembele stays. Yeah, I mean, exactly what you're saying though, Jose. If Bissouma can just keep that confidence up, keep this level of play, which I'll admit is going to be hard. He's really going to have to be up at the top of his game to be thought of in the same sentence as Dembele. Dembele was, every player you ask that had played with him or played against him will always name him as one of the top players that they've ever shared the pitch with. And so I don't think that, and I mean, like, crazy good people too, like people that have also played with like Kevin De Bruyne and.
Yeah, opponents would say that Dembele was one of the most difficult customers to play against. The opponents would say that, but the Tottenham players would turn around and say, the ones that played with him say that he was an absolute beast, and also not only was he good and he looked good, but he made others around him look good as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he can show a lot as he grows in maturity. Todd Spurs is just still agreeing with you here about how Bissouma is growing into that role and showing over time, hopefully, that he can continue to play at that level. Daniel E says Moussa Dembele used to outstrength you. Yaya Toure on the ball. He oozed pure class. Did Moussa Dembele? Yes, he did. He
Dembele out-strengthened everybody. No one could get he out-strengthened. There's no one stronger than Dembele.
His thighs were like this big. Like you see the training. Yes, for legs. You would see like the training photos and stuff of him like in the weight room, and he just looked like a freak of nature. Poch, I think it was Poch, right? Adrian, did you hear Poch say like if he had gotten Moussa Dembele whenever he was much, whenever he was 21 that he could have made him into one of the best players in the world. I think I remember a quote like that. But I believe it. I mean, I don't think that he wasn't put in that midfield position until far too late into his career. You know, striker at Fulham. But yeah. So guys, in a nutshell, that's keeper West Ham. Real quick, Fitzy though said, "What about Poch and Yol? Is that Poch versus Yol? That's a tough one.
I think he's doing the keep on West Ham. He's doing it, but with 2 managers.
I don't know enough about Martin Yol because I'm a Harry Redknapp is right about the beginning of my timeline. But you gents, I would love to hear an answer from. I feel like it has to be Poch, but maybe
Let's go. Let's go with our historian, Mr. Adrian.
I would go with Poch because he took the club to a different level and he raised expectations among Spurs fans. We were getting Europe regularly under Poch, didn't we? And look what he did. We got in those season we got 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, didn't we? Before we were 6th, 7th, and 4th, and then 8th. You know, so yeah. I mean, yeah, Poch for me. I like Martin Yol, but Poch for me because all the Champions League and that.
Yeah, it's hard to recreate that.
From when Keith Birkinshaw retired, the first manager that actually got us doing things and playing football and that since he retired was Martin Yol. Martin Yol started that, and it was Martin Yol followed by Harry, followed by Poch, where we played in years. We played for 10 years or whatever. We had them 3. We played really good football, and then we went back to what we had in between Birkinshaw and Martin Yol with when we had Mourinho, Conte, and Nuno. So
yeah, you had some others. You had some AVBs. We had Tim Sherwoods,
one day Ramos, Christian Gross. Don't forget him.
George Graham.
Yeah,
but
we had Terry Neal.
Real quick, I just want to get this comment out before I forget to read it out. Boris said, "Hey, what's up, Boris? Big up, 2nd time today, and I'll be back later today too. So I'll see you again." The difference between Ange and Poch is a builder, but can't take that final step to winning. But Ange can build and has proven he also wins things as well. Yeah, can't deny it. Hopefully, he can continue that. I'm sure he's eager to continue that and keep that momentum going, keep that image of himself. I'm sure that he would be very glad that you think that of him, and he's going to do everything he can, I think, to keep that image of himself going. And so long may it continue, and trophies for Spurs hopefully on the horizon. But I saw you shake your head yes whenever I put this up, Jose, about the way that you all got sacks being criminal. So tell me a little bit about this. Is that halftime of a match, right?
Sorry, no. Adrian's a historian, mate. I like it. Adrian's a historian. Adrian remembers all this stuff.
Well, it was rumoured at halftime during the match. I'm not sure of it, but I mean, it wasn't very clear. I mean, the rumour spread around the ground because prior to the game, everybody thought Martin Yol was going to get sacked anyway. So I don't think you sack a manager in the middle of a game, do you? You either do it after the game, don't you? So,
yeah. Sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. It sounds.
Yeah. Well, once it was decided and he was gone, I mean, like I didn't really think too much about it. So, I don't know the true story behind it, but I would have thought that he was going after that game.
The writing was on the wall.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall beforehand.
But why, I don't know, because he hadn't done nothing wrong in my eyes. So,
well, it was the kick-on thing. I think one of the other directors had said something to the words like, I mean, when he'd done well, I think Levy had bought him a flash car or something, like, you know. And the other director saying, "Oh, like with Martin Yol, he's only going to ever settle for top 4. You're never going to win the league and things like that." And I think that got into Levy's head, and he sacked him. That was part of the reason. I think he thought like. I think Joel said, you know, it's about as far as I could take the team or something, and that was treated as a negative. So he was sacked. I'd have to source that actually and go back, but I'm not sure. When you get these sackings, you know, you've got all these like managers have to sign disclaimers or they don't get their money and their loyalty bonuses and all this stuff. It's the same with players, isn't it? So they have to keep stum. It only comes out many years later when no one really cares anymore.
When the book comes out, right? When they release their book, trying to get that last paycheck. But we've got says Kamoli and Yol fell out. Levy back to Kamoli over Yol. That's what I remember.
That's probably true. That's probably truth in that, actually. Yeah, I think it was
Damien Kamoli. Is that fella's name? Damien. I think I remember that from somewhere. But yeah,
he was the director of football.
Gotcha. And then after that, we kind of changed the structure of things too, right? After the Kamoli, we didn't have a DOF for a while, if I'm understanding that correctly. I think that's basically how it went. Interesting. Well, I hope that answers your question, my man, because Fitzy
has put down a further comment below this as well.
So I was in Cyprus watching the game in a Spurs pub, and people said before the game that Yol was sacked, and at halftime he was. Bonkers.
Well, if he was, that sounds a bit strange to me. I mean, like you
yeah.
The
why even stay there?
Like, when the manager's called to the training ground, you know, and then you sort of know, or there's a board meeting and a manager is summoned, you know. It's probably in the offing before that game.
Yeah, not many walk out. From what Adrian just said now, not many walk out with their job still employed by the club if they're called to the training ground or to a board meeting. It's very, very rare that you keep your job if one of them things happens to you.
Yeah, good point.
We back the manager 100%. Yeah. Then when they go, we'd like to thank him for his service. He did a good job, but you know, it just wasn't happening. So we're sorry to let him go. Yeah, right.
Yeah, sorry we have to pay him the rest of his salary that we owed him. But no, Dan just to end this off, Dan says that he was talking, speaking of Levy, was talking to Wande Ramos behind Yol's back weeks before Yol got sacked. I remember exactly how it went down. Well, it sounds dirty. I've dug up some Tottenham dirt here and love it. Having fun with it. This is good stuff. And it's, like I said, good knowledge to add to my knowledge bank and my timeline of Tottenham. So always good. But one thing I wanted to throw up, we have Angelo Tyro in the house. What is up, Angelo? Don't think I've seen you, but he says, love what you're offering here, Call. Big up to you, my man. Thank you so much for being here. And to everybody who's remained here after United Spurs of America, thank you. Truly thank you. There's a million places that you could be tonight, but you are hanging out with us. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already liked and subscribed. It really helps. It really does help. And then I also wanted to thank, we've got two Patreons, Chris Peters and Wayne Bonner. I just want to big up those guys. Really thank you guys for, like I said, I bought this flag and I have a light that I sometimes now use in front of me to look a little less like a sheet of paper. And it's thanks to those guys. There's the link for just a second and it's gone. Okay, so enough of that. But seriously, Chris and Wayne, you guys are legends. Thank you. And we got a legend with Angelo as well. So big up. And it's not just me. This is offered by me and Jose. This is the Call and Jose talking ball hour. Well, it's been almost an hour, exactly. But yeah, so co-partners, and so fist bump. Yep. You're bumping. We're fist bumping. We fist bumped, everybody. You saw it. We bumped fists. But yeah. So in the comments, real quick, we got Asna Potato. What's up, Asna Potato? Richie Dyer says, and Skippy are bad players that need to leave next season. We need 3 replacements for them. Yeah, that is definitely not an incorrect statement. We were talking about this earlier, and I'll throw this out to everybody listening or everyone that's still here. So if you had your option between, I guess basically, would you trade Richarlison for Dele straight up? No cash involved, no money either direction. If Everton said, hey, we'll give you Dele if you give us Richarlison back, would you do it? I'll ask you, Adrian. Would you take Dele back in exchange for Richarlison?
No.
So quick on the
No,
draw.
Delhi's had his time, fantastic stats. Obviously he's had his issues. There's a lot of people, I mean, it's a tough one, you have to take what players say at face value when they come out with these things. I mean, like Richarlison's supposed to. I don't think Richarlison suffers from depression or mental issues. I just think he's got that, when you're out of form,
got the yips,
and
we call it.
Got the yips, and like he's just struggling to get it. He come back, he got a goal, but it still quite isn't there. Well, he's not going nowhere, is he? He's part of the squad, so we'll back all the players, no matter how good or bad we think they are. But if he can't turn it around, Ange will lose patience with him. He'll end up being as an impact sub. And if he doesn't make an impact as a sub, they'll look to get rid of him in the summer. No one's going to come in for him in January. Same with Skip's homegrown. He ain't going nowhere. So, and if you can get a tune out of Sessegnon, he's homegrown as well, so he won't go anywhere either. I mean, next season, Sarr's homegrown because he'll have done 3 years before his 21st birthday, and although he was abroad, that counts. If Sarr comes as homegrown, you got Maddison and Phillips gives you 5. When we was doing really well under Poch, we had 6 England internationals, didn't we? We had Kane and Dele. You had Dyer and Winks, and Walker and Rose. So we had 6. If you don't include Ashley Phillips, we're still a bit light on the homegrown. That's why if we go out for centre backs, as much as I'd like Bremer or Tapsoba, who would both be expensive to get in January anyway, I think there's more chance we'll end up with one of the Adebayo or Lloyd Kelly because they're both homegrown. They're homegrown players. And like Lloyd Kelly's quick, so is Tapsoba. They're both quick, so they both suit the system. Depends if you believe all the stuff about Adebayo, about him wanting to go to Monaco, because in January he can sign for them anyway if he's really keen to go to France. But then I would question his ambition. It's like Jota's being linked with Spurs, isn't he, the last few days? Well, okay, he might be cheap. I mean, like Celtic sold him at 25. El Attiyad, whoever they are, might want 20 mil from or something like that. I question Jota's ambition, because if he was going to go from Celtic to the Middle East, he's going for the money. And if a player's just going for the money, I'd need to know. I'd want due diligence done with the player. I mean, obviously, Ange knows the player. You don't want someone who thinks, he was going to go there on 200 grand a week. Spurs aren't going to pay him that anyway. And I don't think Ange wants another wide player. He sort of half said as much. He doesn't want one. Because that
stacked there, yeah.
Solomon's going to be back. He may yet get a tune out of Gill. I hope he does. And even Sessegnon can play on the wing if he can get a tune out of him. So, and we've got some good kids. Santiago's a good little winger.
Iago, Iago Santiago, I believe. Which what a cool name, by the way. Yeah, props on that name.
He's Spanish.
Yeah, no, it's Iago. It just flows. It just sounds great. Iago Santiago. But yeah,
young Mikey Moore. He's 16. He was 16 in January. I mean, like he played in both them League Cup finals last year, so he won 2 cup medals. And the weekend he scores a hat trick, and he's only just turned 16 in the summer, and he has trained with the under-21s. And he scores a hat trick the weekend, and he's got 10 assists this season already.
Going to be a total.
No, I mean, like the thing is, you can be really good at a young age and then disappear from the scene. I mean, you're just hoping that.
That's what happened. That's what happened to Jose. That's why his career never took off.
We heard about it before. When Wenger was at Arsenal, they had all these youngsters in their reserves. They were beating everyone left, right, and centre. How many of them come through? None of them. In the end.
Yeah.
So that's because you've got established players. You got, managers. Then just go out and buy them, don't they?
Yeah.
There's no patience with bringing players through unless they're really exceptional, precocious talents. They just
we got lucky with Harry Kane, and we were forced into that situation. We didn't want to play Harry Kane. Let's be honest. If there were any other options besides Soldado and Adebayor, I don't think he would have played and become the player he is today. But yeah, so everyone in the comments is talking about Richarlison. I posed that question: Richarlison for Dele. Mom says Richarlison is on the cusp of something big, but Angelo says there's an airplane seat waiting for Richie to sit in, to be taken to the Saudi League in the summer. And I do feel like if he goes somewhere, that is a likely destination for him. He's just a big enough name, I feel like, that they would feel like they got, somebody good, and he would make way more money, and against lesser opposition and hopefully less pressure. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I do think if he goes, that is the type of place that he might go. Dry Roast Peanut though says Sessegnon has to go. I think this is in response to you saying that you think he's going to stay. Doesn't do anything in particular well and is always injured.
Well, I don't see Cess going in January. I mean, the same with Richarlison. I don't see the squad being reduced. We'll have to see if we get one or two in January, and whether Dyer and Hugo move out. It's so hard in January because teams, if teams in Europe or in European competitions, they're not going to want to, if they've got a chance of success, they're not going to want to sell. And similarly, if teams are struggling in their leagues, they're not going to want to sell either. They want to keep the players they've got. So usually in January, I mean, we have done well in January. We got Dele in, we got Moro in, we got Bentancur and Kulu in, didn't we? We got Moro in. We have done quite well with the players we've brought in January. But it's just, I mean, I'm just hoping that Ange, with now Lange, and the recruitment team, that they've got a list of players and that some of these players are under the radar and we might get a couple in. I only see us getting about two in. Would I take Calvin Phillips? No.
It's never going to happen. It's just never going to. I don't even want to entertain the idea really, because I just don't see it happening. They're not going to want to lose money on him. And I don't think we're going to pay that type of money for the output that he's produced so far. We'd be taking quite a gamble, don't you think?
Yeah. It's like the talk on Conor Gallagher and all. Look, the priority was what Ange wanted was a centre-back. Now you can bring them in, and it's not a question of, we won't get game time, a quality centre-back won't come. Of course they'll get game time. If you've got them under a contract and you're playing a minimum 40 games a season, if you've got two pairs of centre-back and they're all good, and you're all consider them as squad players, then you can guarantee them all 20 games a season. Both pairs or whoever you pair up. So I'm not with that argument for any position throughout the team. Man City can keep the players happy. I mean, the ones they don't, that become a bit fringe, they do get rid of, like Jesus and Cello and things like that. But they were still good players to let go, And
good players on both ends. They got a fair bit of money for Jesus, and now he's performing. Unfortunately, but he's performing so well in the league, so I feel like both sides get a pretty good deal with that, with that. But I see what you're saying about City. We're so different as teams and the way that we're run. But no, I don't see Calvin Phillips. I do think he's a better Højbjerg. He's better than Højbjerg, but not better enough to justify, I think, the price tag he will command. And like
exactly, you're going to sell Højbjerg, get some money back. Calvin Phillips is going, and how much more is he going to give you? All right, he was probably Leeds' best player for a long time. That's why he got the move to City. But obviously they've seen something there. I mean, and thought, mind you, having said that with Pep, when Grealish first said he didn't go there, I thought, well, he doesn't look like a 100 mil player to me. And then the following season, he really hit his straps, didn't he? He did really well.
So took him a while to get going, for sure.
He didn't get in the team against Arsenal, did he? And that was a scrappy game to watch. But so no, Calvin Phillips doesn't excite me. If we were going to bring in a player, I want someone who's more. Well, I think Ange wants someone who's more of a baller. Otherwise, why would you want to get rid of Højbjerg? I don't think there's that much difference. I mean, Phillips is probably a better player than Højbjerg, but I don't think there's much difference. Really, I don't think you get much more out of gaming him. So why can't we then, I think there are other options out there. Although Phillips again is homegrown, so he's going to command a price being homegrown anyway.
Sure.
And we'll see. I mean, I think if Dyer and Yugu go, that frees up 2 foreign spaces anyway, so we haven't necessarily got to look for homegrown. And teams, they'll sell because they're
skint.
A lot of them teams are not short of defenders anyway. And all that talk about Victor Nelson at Galatasaray, I mean, Galatasaray have been trying to sell him like mad. You know what I mean? So if Spurs had wanted Nelson, they could have got him. He would have been in by now if they wanted him.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Yeah, as well. Good defender, but good diving in. He'll dive for you in a back line. Not sure about his ball distribution or his pace. So Ange really wanted taps over. That's who Ange wanted. But I mean, would Juventus be tempted to sell Bremer if we offered him?
That's who you keep moving. Like every time we talk, that's your man. That's your man. And
I just think they paid 40 million euros for him, 34 mil.
Yeah.
So if they were to make a profit, if you offered 45 for him or something, or 50, I think you'd probably get him.
45 might get it over the line. Angelo though says Ash Phillips is that good. He might be a better option than a center back like Tosin. If you're looking at the more backup of and I know you don't like the term backup, but if you're looking at kind of the more second choice players, I do see the argument that I haven't seen him play enough to say, but maybe Ash Phillips is good enough to be that, that player. Maybe he is up there with the same category of players as like Tosin. I don't know if he's as good as Tosin and Adebayo, and I don't know if he's up to their level or not. Have you seen him? Have you seen him play, Adrian? Have you seen any of the
clips of him for Blackburn? And
same,
21s, and they played yesterday. I watched the game yesterday when they beat Spurs play when they beat Bristol City 2-1 away. Actually, Bristol were worth a draw in that game. We scored a penalty. Santiago won a penalty in about a 96th minute or something, and Spurs won 2-1 to continue their great run at the season, 9 games undefeated. But they were missing Phillips and Dorrington and that, and a completely different back four because half them kids were away on England duty. So
which is a good thing for them. But no, I know what you're saying. It was a mismatched group of players and not completely used to.
He's a unit, actually, Phillips. He's all the players we brought in are units like Udogie, Van der Ven. I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't fight any of them. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't want to
6-1,
6-2. No, I'm not fighting them. No way. Real quick, I wanted to say hey to Charisse. I bet you it's tell me phonetically if you can spell out like your name and in a comment. I don't want to call you the wrong thing. I saw you in another comment. What's up? It's the first time I've seen you in the chat. So we need to strengthen up our squad depth. If Romero or Van de Ven gets injured, I pray it never happens. But in case it happens, it's so worrisome in our defensive line. And yeah, that's exactly where we're at.
Yeah, strengthen it with quality, isn't it? That's the thing. Because at the moment, you're looking at Davis to play left back or emergency left centre back. Dyer's not going to get another game. He's just too slow. Right? He'd do a job for someone else in a different system, but not in the Ange system. Just
Fulham. Send him to Fulham. Trade him. Send him plus cash for Adebayo.
Yeah. So he's not going to play. Hugo's going to go. I would like Hugo to get a send-off. He served the club well, but something bad's really happened if he can't even make the bench and get in front of Forster. Because Hugo's a better goalkeeper than Forster is.
Oh, yeah. So do you reckon it has to do with whatever happened at that Newcastle match? If anyone in the comments knows what happened, let us know.
And that would have got back to the ball and Levy, and that's probably right. Okay, fine. That's it. We're not having that.
That's crazy for them to just completely, like you said, cut ties with the guy that had been the rock at the back for us for years.
Unless we're unless I mean, it might be different. I mean, it could be simply that Ange thinks, okay, you're going at the end of the season. Why should I play you when I've got Forster? So it might not. There might not be nothing. We all hear these rumours about what went on at Newcastle. Now I can imagine there was words, but we don't know how bad it was. If it was,
there had to have been words.
If you refused to come out for Spurs, refused to wear the shirt, well, like, listen, you're a paid professional. You do your job. We all have bad days at the office, but you do your job. So in that case, I could understand them saying, like, you're finished after that. We're not having that. But I don't know.
And
so,
do you know who? I know what you're saying exactly. It could have been anything. It's something wild though. Probably. Actually no. He probably just refused to come out. Like you said, we were getting absolutely embarrassed. He was embarrassed. He's the goalkeeper. He's directly involved in every one of those goals scored against us. So I bet you it was something like that.
But he's in the training videos when you see him, like pre-match training videos.
Yeah, well, I think it's because he's still so marketable
from the training ground and nothing like that. Yeah,
true. But I think they know that he's so marketable in France, with France having won the World Cup, and him being. Well, I know it wasn't the last, but you know what I mean. France being a World Cup winning team, him being he retired from France, didn't he?
Yeah.
Danny saying that we might go back for Marcus Edwards, but that goes against we think Dan that we're done for now looking at wide players, but maybe we have a 25% sell on fee for Edwards, so that makes it a bit easier for us in the future. Oh yeah, so it's basically 25% off.
I just don't see us going in for a number 10. I just don't see it.
Is he more of a 10? I thought he was a wide.
No,
I thought he was a winger.
He can play on the wing as well. I mean, Marcus Edwards, he was coming through at Spurs when Curtis Jones and Phil Foden were coming through at.
Poch called him
at the time.
Iniesta.
Phil Foden has, and we're not hearing rave reports. Mind you, I don't follow Portuguese football, so we're not hearing rave reports about Marcus Edwards. He's a good player.
He's improved. I think he's improved since he left Spurs. That's something. You know what I mean? Getting regular game time and growing up and to be like an actual adult, because he was just a kid basically at that time, and he was one of those guys that was hyped up.
If Maddison was it, I mean, like, you've got an option. We don't know what's going to happen with Lo Celso, even though people would like to see him go if he's broody and whatever. And but I think Decky could play through the middle. He can hold the ball up. You know what I mean? So. And he's had 15 assists in 56 games. He scored 9 goals. His stats. It
would allow Basuma to get forward. Basuma, but he could lay the ball off to like an oncoming Basuma who could break the lines that way, kind of playing that Dele late run into the box roll. That would be awesome.
But then rather than do that, I mean, if Bentancur was fit, Maddison gets injured. I mean, Bentancur's not going to walk straight back into that team. Sarr's been playing well, So
sure.
you've got the option. You've got the option of bringing Bentancur in, all right, and then what? You give Basuma. Well, Bentancur's quick, right? He is quick, and he's quicker than Basuma. I think Basuma's probably now the way the team is probably one of the slowest players in the side. Seriously, if you compare his stats, I'll bet you. But what Basuma does, he's so quick with his twists and turns with the ball. He makes space, runs into it. He's not a slouch, but I mean, obviously, that Son, Johnson, Kulu, I'm not sure how fast Maddison is actually, but Sarr's no slouch. Porro's definitely no slouch, and old back four's no slouch. Udogie, Van de Ven, and all that. So.
Very true. Yeah. I'm worried about Bentancur when he comes back and trusting that knee. I had a shoulder injury, and I still don't trust my shoulder at all. And according to the doctors, I'm completely fine. It's good to go.
Yeah.
I can start, but I still don't trust it, and so I'm worried that he'll do the same with that knee.
Yeah, with the hamstring muscles now, they can, like Sessegnon's, I reckon they fixed. I hope so, because I hope he comes good. If not, we sell him. Right, we get rid of him, right?
Yeah.
Let Ange have a look at him, see what he thinks. If he breaks down again, he's out, and there's no chance again. With the ACLs, they can strengthen them. Like if you get groins and done, they can put mesh on your groin. They can make it stronger than it was. All you've got to worry is if you come back with the same mobility, So I'm not worried about Bentancur fixing his ACL. I would be more concerned if it cost him a bit of his pace. I always liked he always looked for a forward ball, Bentancur, when he was on the ball. You know what I mean? And he moves the ball quickly, and he can beat the press as well. He probably isn't as quick on the turn as a Basuma is, but
I think ultimately it'll be him and Basuma playing
forward.
I think it'll be him and Basuma as a pairing with Madison in front of them eventually. I think that he'll obviously have to work his way back into the team. Sarr has that position locked down for now, and he deserves to continue. I think Sarr's great. He's been a revelation for us.
But I don't think that'll be a big problem because, like, if Bentancur comes in, oozes Sarr out, or Sarr keeps Bentancur out, you know that for so many games, Angie's going to make his substitution on 60 minutes. So keeping the players happy, if they're getting game time and they're getting virtually half a game or a third of a game, I don't think they'll get as disgruntled as they would if they weren't getting any game time at all. You know, so
it's true. Yeah. And next season, hopefully, we'll be back in Europe, like you're saying.
A quality squad, which we aren't at the moment, of like, if you've got 11 on the pitch, you've got about to look at 5 quality players on the bench that you can turn to, and you think we don't lose nothing by introducing any of them. And they can't all be like Maradonas. You know, you've got to have a mix on the bench: defenders, midfielders, attackers. You've got to have a mix and a goalkeeper. You can't. So ideally, you want about 18 quality players out your 25. A couple of extra in case you get injuries, like, you know. But that's
right. It's impossible to keep more than 18. What you're saying is you can probably keep 18 top players happy with rotation, and then the rest
under Ainge's system, because he makes his substitutions. He did well with substitutions Saturday, actually, but he makes his substitutions and gives players time. All right, not with Velez come on and all that when Decky was knackered, right? But I mean, like he makes up in Scotland. He was making a lot of his subs on the half-hour mark, but obviously, you know, it's how the game's going as well. You know, and no,
I get what you're saying completely, and I agree. But I do think that we might be reaching a thing where it's hard to get players in. I feel like it's going to be hard to get a defender in with this Mickey Van de Ven pairing with Romero. I think unless we've got Europe or another competition to play in, it's going to be hard to bring in somebody good, like a big name that we want.
Well, then you're down to Phillips, and I think Davies has got another year on his contract at the end of the season. But then otherwise, you're looking at Dorrington as well, who plays on the left as centre back. It's both of them. I mean, like, so Phillips, I mean, he's a unit. He's quick going forward. He's good on the ball. He's good in the air. He's a strong lad. But, you know, this Premier League strikers are pretty cute. They can give you the runaround, like, you know, so, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be tough. It'll be exciting to see what Ashley Phillips can do in the Premier League. I think we're all excited to see that. And I hope he gets his chance. You know, he's been named to the bench. You know, Postecoglou obviously believes in him. So that isn't the issue. There have been some comments that I wanted to go through. Sherace, I believe, is who I've got here. Sherace, what is up? Thank you for says that channel was recommended in the YouTube home videos because you watch other Spurs fans live streams. So you joined here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you have fun. Yeah, welcome. We do shows every day. I do one every day at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. That's 3:30 p.m. in England. And then this one I do some after Jacob's done because he sends me his followers and I get to reach new people. And that's wonderful. We've got some other things here. Angelo thinks that Lo Celso will cover Basuma. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't really thought of Lo Celso.
Yeah, he could
to spell him.
I mean, Ange was reported to have said he likes what he saw in Lo Celso. I mean, the only thing with Lo Celso really was like he's not done it quite for us. He's looked as though there's been a couple of periods over games because under Mourinho he signed. He was still on loan. So under Mourinho, he actually signed the contract to stay with us. So Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Dan, on that. I mean, I agree. The thing with Lo Celso, there's a few times I looked at him, I thought he showed promise. I liked him before he came to the club. I didn't know nothing about Ndombele, but I'd watched Lo Celso, right? And I thought, and he's a good player. But whether he's good enough to put in, the level of performance that's required from our team in the Premier League, I don't know. He did look good in a few games when he got injured, and every time some of our foreign players go away, they always seem to get injured. So he's undoubted talent. I mean, like there's Real Betis, Barcelona, Sevilla, Aston Villa all wanted him, right?
Yeah, there's got to be a reason for that. Those teams don't come in for you if you are.
Well, his old manager's at Villa now, isn't he? So like,
he knows him well. He knows his ins and outs.
At least they would have the money to buy him. The Spanish clubs
with their new owners.
So even Napoli came in for him as well. And they
said, I hadn't heard the Napoli one.
Yeah, they were in for Ndombele, and then I let him go, didn't they? And then they're interested in Lo Celso. They got Champions League football. They should have money, And what do they think they're going to get him for 15 mil or something like that? He's a 30 mil player easy. I mean, it was Alex McAllister only kept him out the Argentinian side because Lo Celso was injured during the World Cup. Otherwise, McAllister wouldn't have played.
But he had a good World Cup, which had to have drove up his price, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he went for 35 mil. So if McAllister's, I know they're different players, but McAllister's worth 35 mil, then so is Lo Celso.
But Lo Celso didn't play in the World Cup and showcase himself where McAllister did. I mean, I get what you're saying, but you know what I mean? How those tournaments tend to like really raise a player's value, even if it's not proportionate to their actual skill level. Like players get bought off of tournaments and how they perform. I don't know.
I've got to be honest. I mean, I haven't seen that much of McAllister, but what I've seen, I haven't been impressed. I haven't been impressed at all.
I think they got fleeced. I think 35 million or whatever. If they really paid 35 million for him, then they got fleeced. But that doesn't surprise me with that club. So,
well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, I still think Liverpool finished second and Man City finished top. But I mean, like that's going on now. But it's like
I'm Team Jim. I just want to say I'm Team Jim. So I think that we are going to. I think we're going to win the league. I mean, it's still
possible. No, I wouldn't leave my front door and go to the seasons get old. I wouldn't go to the games if like I thought we were going to lose. Europe, I think, barring catastrophic list of injuries, because we've still got a big squad, even if not the best quality, right? And we've still got some good youngsters that we could throw in if we got really desperate, right? But having said that, we played 8 games. There's 30 games to go. That's 90 points, right? If you take the average amount of points from when the Premier League started in 1992, right, to now, the average points to get top 4 was actually 71.5 points. So if you say 72 points, right, Spurs have got 20 points, right? There's 90 points to go. So in theory, we would need 52 points. Say 54, round it off. Up it a couple. That's 18 wins, right? If Spurs had 18 wins, in theory, we could still lose 36 points, right? And get top 4. I'm not talking top 5, which gets you Champions League anyway this year, right? So do you Spurs fans think we're going to lose 12 games or going to lose 36 points out of the 90 that are left? I just don't see it at all. I don't see it.
Europe's on. Europe's on. I think
the half-empty glass to the half full, right? Just to show things. Well, look at it from the other angle, right? Of like a point situation. And to me, like we're going to get 72 points. We're not losing 12 games. I don't care if we're at a rocky period. How many games would you expect us to lose on the trot? I mean, who are we playing? Who's going to beat us? We beat Man United. We've beaten Liverpool. And we drew with Arsenal. We got 7 points. Arsenal have got 1 of them. Then 6 points. They're huge for our season. They are huge because they're 3 of the teams we expect to be in the round robin of games that compete with us for those positions, right?
Yeah, now, for sure. 100%.
I mean, I'm confident we'll get top 5. I said top 5 being in the season, and now I've sort of upped it to top 3. I'm feeling more confident now because I think, well, who's going to beat us? I mean, and we won't get spanked. I mean, we might lose a game 2-1, 2-0, 3-1 on it, but we ain't going to get beaten 4 or 5-0, nothing like that. Not with our new defence. Even with Porro, Porro's not on point and has an off day. We're not, because you've noticed this season there have been situations when we could have come unstuck, but the pace of Van der Vel, even Romero played very well against Luton, got us out of trouble. And if you look at it and people say,
sure,
and our rivals, this is what gets me. Oh, yeah, you've not played anyone, you ain't done anything. What a load of rubbish.
Yeah,
right?
especially, it's like, who do you guys think you are? If we haven't played anyone,
I mean,
it's usually it's the United fans.
How many games did Brentford lose last season at home? And who beats Man United at home and beats Liverpool at home and goes away and gets a draw at Arsenal, right? We finished second last year. Who does that? And the other thing that I try to stress to fans is this is the positive side. I mean, I've watched decades of Spurs playing, right? And you see the signs when the progressions, you start to get excited about things have happened. And I've got that same feeling. And it's based on what I've seen, right? And what I've seen is, even though we've looked a little bit disjointed and the front 3 permutations that Ange's used haven't clicked, but the midfield and the back 5 have, right? And I've seen it. And what you notice, champions are very good defensively, champions teams, right? We played Brentford away when a goal behind came back. We played Burnley away when a goal behind came back, right? We played Sheffield United when a goal behind came back and won 2 games, right? We went away to Arsenal. We were 2 goals behind Arsenal and we came back. That's 4 games. We go to Luton and we get a result with 10 men, right? That's 5 games, right? That is not a fluke, right? That is no fluke. I've seen this before when teams get results. If you said we'd got a result in 1 or 2 of those games, you could say it was lucky. But this is 5 games. This is not luck, right? This is because we've actually got quality players in the team. We still need to fix the forward line, right? That still needs fixing. But this is a quality we've struck lucky with the signings. I mean, Udogie's a monster. Van der Ven's,
I think our recruitment has just gotten better. I don't think we struck gold, but I think
instead of Raya, I think Vicaro's
such a good move.
Goalkeeper than Raya, and I am biased.
100%.
I just think he is statistically better, right?
Yeah, agreed. I'm biased as well, but I also agree with you.
His awareness, his kicking, he's fetching the ball, he's quick with his throw-outs. He's not like.
What do you guys in the chat think? Raya or Vicario? What do you think in the chat, everybody? Let us know while we continue to go on. But no, Spurs are looking red hot, and like you said, I put take that team. Kate is the one that she's the realist. She calls herself.
I understand people being practical and realistic, because what have they had to watch? What have you had to watch on the last 3 managers who served up a load of dross, right? And you go back to Poch and his last and the ending of his tenure. I mean, even Poch, I had sympathy for. Oh yeah, they were going. We ain't won an away game for X amount. We lost a championship final. I disagree with Moore not playing in that final. He's in the right form to do it. If you've got a player who's lucky in scoring goals, you play him in the final, probably drop Ali if you if Kane's forced himself into the team. Right, I get that. But with Poch, he didn't have a signing in 518 days. And then to get the sack after all of that, it's a good manager. He changed the whole outlook of this club, right? So I've got a lot of time for him, and he's entitled to work. He's at Chelsea, I don't wish him ill, but obviously because it's Chelsea, I don't wish him well either, but not for the right reasons, for the Spurs reasons only, So, So, no, I mean, I don't. Worst ways this season, we could win the FA Cup. It's only 6 games. Most teams can win the FA Cup. We don't fear anyone at home. And that stadium, Colin, honestly, I've been there these games this season. It's been the noisiest I've known it. The noisiest. And, it was very noisy when we beat. Having said that, it's equal to the 3-0 when we spanked Arsenal there, like when they first come and cried off the first game through COVID and all that, and we spanked them. Right?
Oh, my God. There's a runner, baby.
Man. Yeah, I mean, No, I'm positive because the way we ground them results out. You know, we haven't looked all right at Burnley.
Hey, Spurs squad says you're spot on, by the way, Adrian.
Yeah,
Spurs squad is
the forward
agreeing.
line. It's forward line. It just doesn't need fixing as a front three. It needs to be more. It needs to be more than a front three. You know,
Right.
it needs to be at least a front five that are good. You know, if Richie don't turn it around quickly, I said, well, then you get rid of him. If Gill ain't
honestly, I think we need to cut our losses on Richie this summer. If Richie doesn't turn around by this summer, he's got the rest of the season. But this summer, if he's not performing, we really like what's the minimum you would take for Richie if you had? I mean, if he doesn't produce this summer and you're going to sell, what's the bottom dollar price
under the Ange system? Because of the amount. See, last season you might get a case. Oh, we had one shot in the first half, or one shot on target all game. This doesn't happen under Ange. As a striker, Richie should be getting 15 to 20 league goals a season. Son will get there. Son's got 6 in 8 games. It took him 17 games to get 6 under Conte. That's the difference the system is, right? That's the difference. So we will get goals from other areas because of the way we play. They will come. Udogie will pop up with a few probably. You expect Basuma to get one from the edge of the box because that's where he's going to get them if he's going to get them, you know. Centre back's always got a chance from a corner of not you know, heading one in, haven't they? You know, and the wingers, well, we don't know what, you know. I can't make a decision on Brennan Johnson. I've watched video clips before he come, but yeah, same.
He created a chance within like 30 seconds of coming on. He had a scoring opportunity. So I mean, that's a good thing.
I know what Son gives me. I know what Kulu gives me. I know Kate's not keen on Kulu, but you know, that's just.
I love Kulu. So boo,
right?
Kate. Boo.
I know what they give me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what Richarlison's going to give me. I don't know what Solomon's going to give me. I don't know what Brennan Johnson's going to give me. Right? Paratici'S is going to go. Right? So I don't know. I mean, they've all still got to prove it. Solomon looked good to me. One thing he made me notice was that game at Burnley when he had them assists. I thought, oh, you're not just a head-down winger.
Exactly. Head up. He saw
whatever, right? I thought, you can do that, right? All right. And it's early. And you can't judge these players till the season's over. But by then, if they're not good enough, suddenly your season could have not been as well. I don't expect us to have a bad season. No way. We're going to have a very good season. Right? We're going to be up there.
Ange has already exceeded expectations, I think. Anyway, as long as we finish in the top 5 this season, he's exceeded.
So I'm hoping, even when Villiers come on at Luton, he was only on for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I haven't watched him at all. He looked to have something about him. I mean, and Ange has been impressed with him in training. Like there was a cut. He weren't frightened to go for that headed ball, even though he flicked a few on to kill a bit of time behind him and all that. Like, and I thought, I don't know, we'll see. But he's got to show it. So Richie, Villiers, Solomon, you know, Johnson have got to show us something. And they haven't played enough games or had enough game times, either of them. Even Richarlison's never had a long run last season on the continent. He's not had the run, right? So we'll see how long Ange's pace lasts with him because, you know, maximum of 10. We're like 8 games into the season. And how many games has Richarlison started? You know, I think a couple more games. If he misses one like he did at Luton, you know, I can see him being dropped. You know, I can see him being dropped or politely rested, as they say sometimes, to be polite. And I can see him being on the bench and Ange going with the Liz. You know, and I don't doubt Jose's watched him a lot and he knows his stuff. So I would be against his starting a game in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Villiers needs to get more game time. But you hear it. It's the jazz. It means that we are approaching the end of the show. That I'm getting sleepy, and my wife is saying, "Come hang out and stop streaming all day, every day." But guys, I just wanted to say there's still 20 people here watching. Thank you so much for being here. There's a lot of regulars here, but there's some newbies too. If you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more of this content. There'll be some in 13 hours. And I just wanted to say, for real, you guys are great people. The banner down there says today is your day. Go out there and get it. Truly believe that. Hope everything goes right for you today. Hope you find $1 on the ground. Hope you find a smile where you didn't think you could. Go say something nice to a stranger today. Compliment them. Hey, I like your shirt. I don't know, just something small like that could really make somebody's day better. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. I want to say, Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs, great channel, and obviously the guy who sent you all over here, Jacob himself, United Spurs of America. So please check out those two channels, and then of course Eltel Cockerell, my co-host. He is literally just taken up the post as co-host of Talking Ball. He is half of Talking Ball now. Very glad to have Jose on as part of the team. Couldn't do without him. He adds a certain je ne sais quoi to the vibe. So big up to him. Very glad to have him. I want to say we've got, like I said, Angelo Tyro, new person in the chat. As Jack Nicholson once said, you can't handle the truth. Adrian, everybody liked your talking tonight. They would have listened to you for a lot longer had I let them. Sonny's wife said I probably need an energy drink now. Yeah, I limit myself to 2 a day, and that's actually atrocious that it's that many. So I got to work on that. Boris Britt, the one thing I'm loving from the club, they're providing Solomon with the help he needs for the difficult time for him and his family. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's all very that's yikes. Well, that adds something for me to think about. I'm glad they're taking care of him. I wasn't aware that they're doing anything in particular, but I'm sure they are. I hope they are, and just hope everybody. God bless everybody in the whole world, and I wish we could all just get along and have good vibes. But Adrian, as we go and as we leave, what is your final thought on Spurs right now as we're in an international break? If you had to sum it up in like a paragraph, where did you say we are? And
I think what most Spurs fans are looking forward to is seeing Gil, Lo Celso, Sessegnon, and Brennan Johnson fully fit in, I don't know, it's 13 days. We play on the Monday when everyone's back on the Saturday, so it's probably about 13 days now. It might be 11, I'm not sure. And seeing them back, obviously see if we can get a tune out of them. That's then by then we'll know a bit more about how long Bentancur's going to be out. It might be to the end of November though. Hopefully he's been doing light training now, light stuff though, so it's hard to say when he can start upping it a bit. Right. Hopefully he'll be back. But then the intriguing thing for all of us is going to be with Basuma on a one-match ban. Does he after the Fulham game? Does he rest him against Palace so we've got him for Chelsea? But that would be bottling it a bit, really.
But I think he should.
No, he'll wait until obviously Fulham will be first, and he won't have him for Fulham, and he'll wait and see how we do against Fulham, and then obviously a decision.
Højbjerg will step in most likely if
this is the thing. He might put Lo Celso in. This is the thing. He might move Deck. This is what's intriguing about Ange. You can never be sure. When we played Arsenal away, I didn't expect Brennan Johnson to play on the left. Yeah, so
I don't think anybody did.
I don't know. You could move Decky inside, couldn't you? You could push Basuma further up.
There's all kinds of small tweaks to be made that could allow us to.
There's so many options, even though it's like understrength quality squad, basically. He's got so many options and permutations,
Right, and so ever so small changes.
Everyone coming back injury free, which will be good, and news on Bentancur during this time, and just see. It'd be interesting come up to that Palace game on a Monday to see how he puts in or how he shuffles the pack against then because Basuba's going to be in his one match ban. So that's what I'm interested.
Excited. I'm excited. This international break cannot go by fast enough.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, we are wrapping it up. So I want to put up the graphic that I always throw up here. It's something that I stole from PBS. Don't tell them. Don't tell PBS, guys. But this show is brought to you.
Chat franging in there.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. This show is brought to you by viewers like you. Real quick, Adrian, Angelo's got to know, where do we strengthen in January? If you had to pick a position,
Ange's the priority was always the centre back. I don't see that changing. That'll be the first position. We've got, because even if you want a midfield or you want a strike and all that, we've got the players there. They might not be the best. We don't know they're going to perform, but we're covered there. We could do that third quality centre back. You can still rotate Ashley Phillips. You still get a chance to play youngsters. If you're winning a game 3-0 and there's half hour to go, you can put them on and things like that, which is the best way to blood them. Best way to blood them is actually in a home match as well, not an away one.
Oh,
yeah.
So, absolutely.
With the crowd behind them, giving them a boost. Yeah, so no, I think the priority will be a centre back. Obviously, we'd like to have cover for Udogie as well, left back. I know, but we've got Davis at the moment, so the centre back I think will be the cover. If you've got Lloyd Kellyan from Bournemouth, who are down the bottom now, don't see them selling him, right? But he's played as their captain. We did look at him a couple of seasons ago before he got injured. He was looked at, but he's their captain and he can play left back as well. So he would be useful. It's a question if Ange wants him, and we're going to have all these rumours now. Now they'll talk about transfers now in October, around to January.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, hey, on that note, I thought everyone would enjoy my Swiss Miss turned into Bis Miss advert there, because Bis will miss one match, and then he'll come back on 4 yellows, like we mentioned. But everybody, it is time to go. Adrian, you've got a Facebook group. I just want to tell everybody, we'll get that housekeeping done. You got a Facebook group that's got like 1 billion subscribers or something like that. 12,000, I think, is the actual number. And if you guys want to find it, let me check my links, but it's definitely, if you go to at Adrian_Stroka on Twitter, right, that's where they can find it. It's right there in your bio, right there at the top.
Yeah. Wonderful. You'll find it in the bar of the links there. Yeah, I think we're approaching 12,500 now.
That's absolutely incredible. Let me just
check. 4 years though. You've been going 4 years.
Oh look, I had it. So check out that Facebook group, guys. There's the link if you need it. But yeah, it's where you can get with a lot of Tottenham fans just like yourself, and it's all led by this guy right here, Adrian Sroka, who is the infinite pool of Spurs knowledge. A really great guest to have on the show. Thank you for everything. And come on, you Spurs. See you guys.
See you later.